Scouts, Ab Morrison-Hayward, and Kitimat. Hello, I'm called Ab, and welcome to the Isla live stream. Happy Friday. I have to say, I really like that intro music. And yeah, my restream or voice mod program seems to have crashed again. So I guess I'll do without the background music this time around, because it's just too much trouble to close that down and then get it reset up, get it set up again afterwards. So I'm gonna just jump right into what I wanted to go over this week on the live stream. And I'm going to bring up Microsoft Word. So what I wanted to share with everybody this week is some isla place names. So this first one, you've probably heard quite a bit. Kitimat. Kitimat. And this translates to place of snags. And this is what we refer to as Kitimat village. That is the name of the village. Kitimat. You've probably also heard isla. Isla means downstream dwellers. So this can also be used to refer to Kitimat village. So you have two options when you're talking about Kitimat village. You can call it Kitimat or isla. Either one of these is fine. The next one is Wath. Wath. And this is what we refer to as Wath Creek. So Wath is an English approximation. It's not the same as Wath. The next one is Timaninu. 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 And this means place with small clams. They're little pink clams. They're called Timani. This nuh part at the end means to have. So Timani is the little small pink clams. Nuh means to have. So the most literal translation would be, it has small clams, small pink clams. Not sure what species that is, but this is one of the names that you can use to refer to Kamano. The next one is Yamatisa. Yamatisa refers to fine beach. It basically means the sand on the beach is very fine. And this is outside Kamano Bay in Kamano. And the next one here is, there's a couple ways of saying it. There's Hastuwahu. Hastuwahu. That's the first one. The second one is Hastuwahu. Hastuwahu. So this one has what we call a glottalized W, and this apostrophe over the W creates a small pause. So if you just kind of imagine this is the first part of the word, hastu, and then it stops abruptly, and then it continues on with wahu, hastu wahu. In the dictionaries, there's a couple of them that define it as having steep slopes, a valley with steep slopes. that's actually not correct. It has to do with the green water, the glacial water in the Kitimat Valley. So that's the true meaning. It has to do with the green water in the Kitimat Valley. Hastuwah or Hastuwah. The next one is Miscusa. Miscusa is a village at the mouth of the Kitimat River. This is where the Gupskolach pole originally stood before he was taken and sent to Sweden. So the original Gupskolach pole was in Miscusa. That's at the mouth of the Kitimat River. The next one, there's a couple of different pronunciations. There's Luchoch. Luchoch. That's the first one here. I've also heard Lachoch. Lachoch. And this means Boulder Mountain. And this is what people now refer to as Mount Elizabeth. But a lot of people aren't aware that there is a Isla name for it, and it's Luchoch or Lachoch. Either one of those seems to be acceptable. The next name here we have is Lachakias. Lachakias. This means clear water, and this is what is commonly known as Hirsch Creek. And this is this is the true Isla name, Lachakias, as opposed to Lahakas, which is one of the streets in Kitimat, the town. So the Isla way of saying it is Lachakias. The next one is Zaguis. Zaguis. This refers to a bay. I think it could refer to any kind of bay. Any bay could be referred to as Zaguis, but it's Minette Bay in particular that we think of when we say Zaguis. Zaguis. Again, that's my understanding. It could mean something like just a bay in general. The next one is Zakwalisala. 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 I wanted to say it slowly so you hear every part of the word. Something that I've mentioned in my videos before is that any consonant that has a small raised W, a lot of people miss that when they're pronouncing words in islak. And it can be very easy to miss them. You might not hear it if you're not listening very closely, but it is there. So this K with a small raised W and the E sounds like kwa. Za, kwa, li, sa, la. Zakwalisala. Zakwalisala. And this means new moon or crescent moon. And this is MK Bay, which is just outside of Kitimat. The next name we have here is Gildala. Gildala. This means long river. So this Gil means long. And the English approximation is Kildala. So that's what they say in English. In Isla, we say Gildala. There's a G at the beginning as opposed to a K. The next one is Giltuis. Giltuis. Giltuis means long inlet. So you notice it starts with gil, just like Gildala starts with gil. Gildala, long river. Giltuis, long inlet. And this is the Giltuis is kind of the Giltois is another pronunciation, but this is the kind of English spelling of it. And it's in high Isla, it's Giltuis. Giltois. The next one is Hasutla. Hasutla. And this means the trees are like stakes. And this is what they refer to in English as Jesse Lake. So it's called Jesse Lake in English. In High Isla, it's Hasutla. Also pay attention to this sound here. This is like a T and an L. T-L, not C-L or K-L. So it's not Hasukla, like the claw of a cat or a dog. It's not Hasukla. Hasutla. Tla. Tla. Hasutla. The next one is Giltwanuh. 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 And this means canoe mountain. That's kind of a rough translation. But if you remember Tsimaninu, here you can see it has nuh on the end, which means to have. This one also has nuh on the end, which also means to have. Giltwa means canoe. Nuh means to have. So this refers to the shape of the mountain. When you look at it across the bay from Kitimat village, there's a couple of spots on top of that mountain that look like canoes. And that's why it's called Giltwanuh, because it looks like it has canoe shapes. And this is the mountain that's just south of Rio Tinto. And Giltwanuh is what we used to determine seasons in the past. So we would stand on the beach in Kitimat village, near where the gas bar is now, up more towards, there's a couple of houses just before it turns. The road turns down towards the gas station. So around that area is where you would stand to view Giltwanuh, and you would look to where the sun is setting. Where the sun sets, it tells you what season it is. So Giltwanuh, when the sun is in the second shape that looks like a canoe, that means it's Ulakan time. That's when the Ulakan start to come up the channel. So that is Giltwanuh. And the last name I have here is Aquan. Aquan. Also pay attention to this. We have a Q with an apostrophe on top, a small raised W. Aquan. Aquan. And this means sand hill, and this is the sand hill that's near Rio Tinto. So this is just a few place names that I picked out. This is not all of them. Not by a long shot. There are many, many, many more place names. It would take a long time for me to go through all the place names in High Isla territory, so I just picked a few of them, some of the more well-known spots. And yeah, I just wanted to show you the hybrid orthography spelling and the most accurate pronunciation of each of these. And something else I wanted to mention is that there's a couple of different types of territory in Isla territory here. One is referred to as Wes. Wes. So again, pay attention to this apostrophe on top of the W. There's a little pause in front of it. So we say wa, and there's a sudden stop right here, and then wes. And I've mentioned this before in my videos. The letters A and I together sound like eh. It does not sound like A. It always sounds like eh, like met, pet, bet, set, get. Always sounds like eh, never sounds like A. So this is not what ways or what wayas. It's what. That's the beginning of it. And then wes. What wes. That's the most accurate pronunciation and the most accurate spelling. So this means mountain. It also refers to different parts of our territory. So essentially these are trap lines. So when Europeans came here, they established trap lines, and the trap lines are what we call what wes. This is the singular form. The plural form is wahuis. Wahuis. And these are parts of land that are passed down through clans. So these are hereditary. And permission was needed in the old times to go in and harvest on somebody's wes. There's also bakwalas. Bakwalas. So again, we have a kwa. Bakwalas. Bakwalas. So I've heard and I've seen this written as bagweas. But in my studies, I've never come across this word in any dictionary. The closest I've ever found is bakwalas. So I'm not sure where this spelling comes from. I don't recognize this word structure here. So, yeah, there's that. This causes a little bit of confusion. So if any fluent speakers out there have any more information around this, is this a proper Isla word? Have you heard this before? Have you used it? Bagweas or bagweas, something along those lines. Or have you heard bakwalas more often? So what this means is a place where meat and salmon is gathered. And this is open to all Isla members. So if you wanted to go into a bakwalas, you didn't have to ask permission to go in and harvest. And an example of a bakwalas is Kitimat village or Timotsa. So that is a part of the territory that does belong to the Beaver clan, but it is open for harvesting for any Isla member. So that's my understanding of that. I'm going to switch back to my webcam here. So hopefully that is helpful to you all. I just wanted to go through that and give people a better idea of some of the place names around here, and also shed some light on the way that Isla territory is is kind of separated into each watwes or bakwalas. So that's it for this week. Thank you for joining me. Until next time, remember, learning is its own reward. Exquivelas. And I didn't play my little theme song here that I created some time ago, a few months ago. So I'll leave off by saying this is the end of the islak live stream. Escuelas. Wah.